Morning everybody, and welcome back to the Canning Nana. Here you'll see that I finally have my corn all done and ready to go into the pot, and I'm going to walk you through how to can corn for one, and then to make my famous corn cob jelly. Very easy to do. I have 15 ears of corn here. For corn cob jelly you only need 12, and we're going to cook the corn for 3 minutes and then cool it down and take it off of the cobs, put it in a bowl, and then I'll show you what to do from there. So I have my water boiling with a little bit of salt in it, and I'm going to put all these babies right in there, and they're going to par cook because we're going to cook it once again. Corn is something that you have to be very careful on when you're canning it. Not many things get to the center of the corn. If you notice, not even the digestive system of ours breaks it down. So to get to the middle of the corn by pressure canning it, you have to go through a few processes first. So corn is one of those things that you want to be very careful on. It's easy, it's a very easy process, but you do want to do the entire process. You don't want to skip anything, and you don't want to make shortcuts, not on corn. Okay, so here we go. So here you have the corn. You can see the corn that I am taking off of the cob with this, my handy dandy little corn cobber. And after this, we put it into this pot and break them up. I'm going to break them up and then add the water and show you from there what we do. Here's the rest of the corn I have to do. And here's... So, I have the corn in my pot, and this is a big pot. Corn in my pot, all broken up into halves, and covered with 4 quarts of water. Clean filtered water is what I use. You're going to be making a jelly out of this, so you want the cleanest water that you can. I don't use tap water. We have very hard water where we are, and it leaves deposits on everything, so we have filtered water that we get, and that's what I use in all of my canning. You'll see when I can my corn that I use when I can any vegetable. I always use filtered water. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring this to a boil for about 45 minutes, and then you're going to strain the juice. Take your corn cobs out, which I'll show you. You're going to strain the juice in cheesecloth, and you need to get 6 cups at least. Then you're going to need 2 boxes of pectin and 6 cups of sugar. So if you can get that ready, you can pause this, get that ready, and then move on to the next step of the process. This is very easy to do, but you want to follow each step precisely so that you get a good result of the corn cob jelly as well as the canned corn. And I'll get to that in just a minute. On to our corn. Now, for canning corn, you need to cook it again. You want to put in, for every quart of corn, you want to add 2 quarts of water to your pot and a teaspoon of salt. So we have about 1.5 quarts. So we're going to put 4 quarts of water and 2 teaspoons of salt in our pot, and we're going to boil that for 5 minutes. Okay, here is the pot of your corn juice after all of it's done. This is what it should look like, and it should smell of corn very, very strongly. That amber color. And here is all of the corn that I took out of the pot, ready to be thrown away. Or if you have chickens, give it to your chickens so nothing goes to waste. Now, you need a measuring cup that holds at least 6 to 8 cups. And I tie with a rubber band some cheesecloth around it to filter out the juice. You don't want any of the particles of the corn in your jelly. Or if you do, you can leave it in there. Some people do. I don't. I prefer not to. I prefer to have a nice clear jar of jelly. Looks much better, and to me it tastes better. I don't like the little particles, but that's completely up to you. So you can see it. It's kind of dipped in there so that nothing comes out. And then, excuse me, and then you pour your juice in there and it will filter out, and you need 6 cups. Okay, so all the corn is gone. You want to get your pot ready to get the juice in there, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's filtering. Okay, now mine is pretty full. I have an 8-cup holder, and this is what it looks like as it filters out. And then you slowly take your rubber band off, and you compress the juice so that you get more juice out of the filter. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice here. So I'm going to start doing that and pouring it into another container where I have 6 cups. This is a 4-cup container, and I'm going to start pouring it into there. Okay, so right now we have our corn cooking, and I'm going to bring that up to a rolling boil for 5 minutes. And we have our corn cob mix, our juice. I have measured out 6 cups of sugar. We have 2 packages of pectin ready. This is what's left of the bag of the juice after squeezing it. That was our filter. We have our jars ready for the corncob jelly, and we have jars ready for our corn. I like to use the wide mouth jars for the corn because it's easier to get out. And these cute little jars, these are by Golden Harvest. They seal very well. I like the seals on those. I like them a lot better than the Anchor Hawking jars that I get at Walmart. And these are the new ball jars. They've got where you put the date on here. And they're Shore-Tight, and these are the seals that are supposed to last for 18 months. I have not tried these. I've heard good and bad about them. This will be a first for me, so we'll see if we have any failures with these seals. I've heard a few people having failures with these. Hopefully we will not. I don't have failures with my seals usually. The only failure I've had recently, if ever, is with the Anchor Hawking jars when I canned a jar of carrots. I had that come undone. That came unsealed about 3 days after I canned it. So what I'm going to do right now, there's no gas on here. I'm going to put the pectin in, both boxes. I'm going to bring it to a boil. After it comes to a boil, I'm going to add the sugar slowly and bring that to a boil. And then I'm going to let it boil for 5 minutes. Skim off any foam that comes to the surface. You can add a teaspoon of real butter to prevent foaming if you'd like. It won't do anything to the corncob jelly. Okay? And I will get you back here when it is at a full rolling boil after we add the sugar and show you what it looks like. And this is not a metal pan, this is a Teflon pan. It's about 35 years old, so that's why it looks like that. Perfectly good. And I'll show you, here's my corn coming to a boil. I'm going to set the timer now for 5 minutes. And I'm going to let that come to a boil. We're going to pressure can the corn, and we're going to water bath the corncob jelly. And I'll give you times and weights in just a little bit. Okay, the corn is boiled for 5 minutes. We have our jars. I got 3 jars out. I don't think I'm going to need any more of that. This is a very small batch. They're sterile, they're hot jars, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this into the jars. going to show you one jar.
Usually I do 100 ears of corn at a time, so I do a lot more than this, but in order to do this video, I'm doing just 12 ears of corn is what I did for the corn cob jelly. Okay, so that's way too much, because we need to put the liquid in. Oops. We'll leave it about there. Sorry about the filming. I know my arm's in the way. Okay, so you want to get it to 1 inch of headspace, right there. And then you want to debubble it. So we're going to take our debubbler. I definitely need a new one. We're going to get all the bubbles out. A little bit more space in there, so you have some more space to put some corn. Actually, that's pretty much how I like it. It's 1 inch. Yep, that's pretty much perfect. It's 1 inch of headspace. So I'm going to do 3 jars like this. I'm going to put the lids on, and then we have our pressure canner with the heat up, and this will be coming. This will be getting hot. I put hot water in there to begin with. And we're going to put the hot jars in there with the corn. And let's see how many jars I get. Going to do now, we have exactly 3 jars of corn, which is what I figured, 3 pints. So I'm going to take a cloth dipped in vinegar, and I'm going to wipe the rims to get any corn debris off or finger oils. These are new jars, but you would normally check for any cracked or chipped jars at this point. No matter what you can, you always want to use your vinegar on a cloth or napkin to wipe your jars. So I'm going to put the seals on them now and put them into the canner, and they're going to process for 55 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure from my altitude. I'm at sea level. Now, I only have these 3 jars of corn to can, which is a shame because I've got a double-decker canner, and I really don't like to load and have just a half a load or even a 3 pints to do. Today I'm going to do that. Normally I would put something else that processes for the same time in there. So if you're canning anything else, you want to check your times. Maybe a meat in a pints. Chicken would go with these. You can process the chicken along with these. You always want to go with a full canner if you can, just to save time, because it is going to take an hour, and it's kind of a waste of time to just do it with the 3 jars, but that's all I have today, so that's what I'll be doing. But always can with a full canner if you can. Okay, so here we are, and I have begun to put the sugar in, and I'm stirring as I go. You just add a little bit of sugar at a time and keep stirring it. I also have my corn going right here. It's just about to start steaming. I've let it vent for 10 minutes before putting the weight on, and the timer is set for 55 minutes for the corn, and I'll have another one set for 10 minutes for the corn cob jelly. And this is in a water bath canner. Add some more sugar. Now stir this as soon as you get it in there. I'm doing this way because I only have 2 hands and I have no photographer that could do this for me at the moment. Working on that though. You just want to stir it down. Put a little bit at a time, maybe half a cup at a time, and stir it in. Make sure it's all dissolved, and then put your next half cup in. Now you'll see it getting more honey-like in appearance, and that's what you want. After you get all of your sugar in, you let it boil for 5 minutes, a hard boil, and then you will be filling your jars, which I have here, and putting them in the water bath canner, which is going to be filled with hot water. As I'm filling the jars, my water bath canner will be heating up. So you want hot water and hot jars to put into the water bath canner. There goes my timer. Okay, I'll add some more sugar. I'm putting more in than half a cup, but I want you to do half a cup the very first time that you make this, just so you can see the consistency and the difference as it thickens. Because it will thicken after it boils, and you want it to be a jelly-like consistency. You don't need to use a thermometer or anything like that, but as you put the sugar in, you'll notice it getting thicker, and as it gets hotter, it will get thicker. Just like that. And here is my canner. Almost ready to start venting with our corn in it. Okay, I'm going to come back to this when I fill the jars. Just want you to see that browner color coming. It gets darker and clearer as you go. There goes the steamer and the pressure cooker, the pressure canner, sorry. Yes, I'm doing this both at the same time. It's not as hard as it looks, it's just harder to videotape it while you're making it. There, it's got darker color. Every time you put the sugar in, you get a darker color. Okay, I'm going to finish this up and put it in the jars, and I'll be back. I just want to show you real quick what it looks like when it comes to a rolling boil. It does get a little bit cloudy and you do get some foam. You just want to skim the foam off when you turn off the gas. It'll get thick. And then once you skim off the foam, you're ready to put it into your jars. Hey everyone, there we have 9 jars of corn cob jelly. 3 cans of corn. Now I've got hard water, very hard water, so when I take my jars out, it gets this little film, so I've got to wipe all the jars down in vinegar as soon as they cool off. You can kind of see it. The corn looks fine. So how easy was that? We made corn cob jelly and canned corn at the same time, and this is 12 ears of corn. Right there. Not very much corn, and you get a lot out of it. Hope you enjoy this video. I know a lot of you have been waiting on this one. Enjoy, and if you try the corn cob jelly, please let me know if you like it or not. It tastes a lot like honey. It's very sweet, and the longer you leave it sit on your shelf, the better it tastes, the more like honey it tastes. So we have some that is 2 to 4 years old that we use. And it also gets darker after sitting on the shelf, but the taste is more concentrated and tastes more like honey. It's good right now. You can use it right now. It's shelf stable because we water bath canned it, and when you open it, put it in your fridge. It stays a very long time. It stays months in your fridge, just like any jelly. And it's good on anything. Anything you use jelly for, you can use corn cob jelly. This is also good on cornbread. Melt it on the top of your cornbread. Delicious. Delicious. You can use it in place of honey on breads and things like that. I wouldn't cook with it as honey because it's not a honey, it's a jelly. But anything, you can even use it to sweeten your tea. I've done that before too, and it comes out fine. Tastes fine. So enjoy, and if you think of any more uses for the corn cob jelly, let me know. Leave it a comment. Let me know how your corn comes out. Ours came out beautiful.
and that's only 3 jars. I will be doing a video. We're getting 200 pounds of Roma tomatoes Labor Day weekend, and we'll be canning that, making salsa, canned tomatoes, lots of canned tomatoes, and then tomato sauce. So there you go. If you have any other suggestions that you want to see me do, please leave it in the comments. And you can also email me at thecanningnana@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, and as always, please hit the like button and subscribe to see more of my adventures and get more great recipes. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.